1,000 small boats, migrants have crossed the English Channel since Labour has been in government. Homeland Security Editor Mark White joins us now. Mark, welcome to the show. Well, here we go. The boats haven't stopped. In fact, the numbers seem to be going up. And Mark, there's a certain sense of inevitability about all of this.
Yeah, there certainly is. That grim milestone figure was reached just a few minutes ago when the last of 7 small boats to cross today came into Dover Harbour. Before today, there were 758 Channel migrants who'd made that illegal crossing from France since the Labour government came into power on the 5th of July there. Now, over the weekend, that included a couple of hundred or so over the weekend. Then this morning, we got word that one boat had come in very early in the morning to Dover with 44 people on board, and it looked like it was going to be another bumper day, and sure, it was, with 7 small boats in total, carrying 370 migrants. And when you actually calculate all that together, Martin, we are now over 1,000 since Labour came to power. 1,128 people have now crossed the English Channel in small boats since the 1st of July. So just in 10 days since Labour came to power, they have now reached more than 1,100 people crossing that English Channel. And it is an indication, I think, for Sir Keir Starmer and his government of just how difficult it is going to be to try to get to grips with the small boat crisis. He has said, and one of his first acts when he came to power was to scrap the Rwanda deterrent scheme of the last government, and instead he wants to smash the gangs. Well, how long before he goes after the gangs, and how long before they are expecting results? Because, as you said there in your question to me, Martin, there's an inevitability out of this. We're getting into the very warm, flat, calm summer months when sometimes thousands in a day will come across the Channel.
For this week, Mark White, looks to be ideal circumstances for crossing the Channel, and a further setback for Yvette Cooper, for Keir Starmer, for the Labour government. The top cop they wanted to take the job, Neil Basu, turned the job down of being in charge of smashing the gangs. Do you think maybe Mark, that's because this job is simply the poison chalice? It's measurable. You can tell every single day by data that you're not doing your job. Who want this job?
Well, I know Neil Basu, and he's a very shrewd man. You know, as you say, why would you want to take on a job that you're just going to get battered about the head over because you have not been able to come up with the results that the government want in terms of, you know, those arrests, those numbers reducing that are coming across? It's extremely difficult, and I'm sure that Neil Basu, in calculating whether or not to take that job, took that into consideration. It is a very difficult job. If there is successes, and I'm sure there will be, in terms of arresting individuals and smashing gangs like the previous government did, and law enforcement, the National Crime Agency, Border Force and others were actively involved in that, and they had their successes. But the truth of it is, it's such a lucrative business, worth not just millions but billions of pounds to the international people smuggling business right across the globe, that there will always be organised criminal groups only too willing to come in and step in and take over the business once one particular group has been arrested and taken out of the picture by the authorities. So I think as the summer moves on, the Labour government will see for themselves just how difficult it is to get to grips with this problem.
Well, Mark White, you've been saying for many, many months, we can't win the war on drugs. How do we think we're going to stop the boats? Excellent as ever, Mark White. Thank you for joining us with that grim tally. Over 1,000 small boat arrivals now since Sir Keir Starmer became Prime Minister.